she was so tuned into her own self and her own feelings and was so able to express it verbally that every song she sang, every story she sang, people could relate to it. People were spellbound. Men and women alike would listen to her stories and they could all relate to what she was talking about. So, does that take a certain amount of narcissism or egocentrism to focus that way on the self and be so able to say, look at me, here I am, listen to my story. My story is important. My story is important. You know, that's a trip in itself, to be the non-accommodator. Women are brought up to be accommodators, you know, and to be such a non-accommodator and to just focus on your own self is really such a challenge.
God, I struggle with the complex that I'm a narcissist, egotist. I mean, look at what I'm doing, you know? Being a songwriter, I think, if you don't write about something other than your own stuff, if you don't write about if you don't, you know, make art about something other than yourself, it's so hard not to feel like, you know, what makes my story worthwhile? What makes me worthwhile?
Exactly.
You know?
And she never seemed to have a problem with that, ever, at all. I mean, when you hear her, she was interviewed as a young woman in this documentary and as herself now or recently, whenever it was made. Very recently, I would say, from looking at the footage. And she doesn't seem to have a shred of self-doubt, which is an amazing thing.
Do you write music?
You know, I'm just starting to. It was interesting watching Joni when I was a pre-teenager, and I was like totally in awe of these two women, and I bought their songbooks and I would sit at the piano and play. I learned every tune, I sang every note, every tune, and just imitated them. I imitated them. It didn't dawn on me to be a songwriter. It dawned on me to be a good singer. So I focused on just singing and beauty of their music. I wasn't thinking in those terms. I don't think I'm a songwriter by birth. I mean, somebody like Carole King, Joni, Laura, they at an early age, these women had to be writing songs when they were 5. They were so creative. They had to have been so innate at writing. And it's not an innate thing for me. It's something that I've had to work on. I've written 2 lyrics that are published, that are on my new record, that are going to be in a fake book. 2 existing bebop melodies by a pianist named Elmo Hope that died in the 60s. And I'm starting to write a little bit more now. So I'm trying to open my mind to it. And she talked about that focus. And Graham Nash talked about living with her. And he said it would be a contest every morning to see who got to the piano first, to see who could be more focused, who would spend more time. And he talked about her incredible focus, that she would go and just, he would talk to her and she couldn't even hear him. She was so focused on her work
that's a level of,
yeah,
that's like, that is innate.
It's a discipline and it's a focus. It's also just innate talent and brilliance. But it's being able to channel that brilliance and that talent and that intelligence and use it productively and be productive with it. She was incredibly productive with her talent. And what, kind of personality does that take? That's kind of what it left me thinking about. Is she just so amazing because she's incredibly egocentric and just, like a really typical male personality in a beautiful female body?
What does that mean?
Like your alpha male that's like so type A, so like focused on his career, like the type of guy that becomes like a great politician, a president, a great lawyer, doctor, really a great rocket scientist, that's so focused on his work that that's all he does. Men have traditionally been able to do that because behind every great man there's a great woman. Because the mom, the wife, is taking care of all the earthly necessities, cooking, cleaning, whatever needs to be done, so that the man is free to accomplish. How did she accomplish so much? She had to have that kind of male personality, male, quote unquote. And I think because of the time, the sexual revolution, surprise, she's got a kid, that she made probably a very painful decision to give up for adoption in her teen years or early 20s, whatever it was, because all you see is Joni Mitchell as a teenager or early 20s, very skinny and young looking and really young looking, and you don't see a pregnant woman, you don't see a child. I don't know how old she was when she had the child, but she made the choice to give up the child to pursue her career. That had to be a painful decision, but she knew that she couldn't pursue a career with a child. Her career would not have happened. It would not have happened. So to have the freedom to pursue your career in a male way, because women, because of the fact that we get pregnant, have always been, saddled with the child-rearing responsibilities. It's not necessarily a saddle. I'm glad I did it. I chose to do it. But, I don't have to even talk about that. Just look around the world. It's still the rare woman that really accomplishes on a very direct course without being encumbered by the duties of a housewife.